Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. What's the most epic chord ever? Well, you could make a good bet that it's Wagner. Let's take a look. I won't keep you in suspense. The most epic chord is the Tristan chord from Wagner's Tristan and Isolde. We'll make an argument for it, but listen, this is what it sounds like. The Tristan chord is this middle chord right here. I don't ordinarily show notation, but it's not a bad way to visualize it, and I think it's important for us to understand how Wagner conceived of this particular sound. First of all, we're in a A minor world, and the A minor sound, of course, would have the 1 chord and the 5 chord as important worlds. But Tristan is from 1865, and we're beginning to really open up our harmonic palette. Wagner's got an unusual sonority here. Look what's happening. The first melody sort of is a A minor sound, 6 to 5, and then the next moment he spells it F, B, D sharp, G sharp. And it's quite the sort of upper structure chord, isn't it? Tritone on the bottom. And it really resolves outwards to the last moment here. E7, it's really simple. If we really break it down, that's A minor, E7. And that's the center of how we want to think about this particular gorgeous chord. Let's look at how it might be used in maybe other contexts. So here's Wagner's notes again. And if you look at them as a stack, these two present a tritone. And if I grab this note and pulled it down here, it would be really, I think, easy for most of you to see this as a half-diminished 7th chord based on F. It's kind of a strong sound, and we know that it goes to E7, and we know that that goes to A minor. What does the F7 suggest to you? Well, to me, it suggests a tritone substitution. It's really the way I think most contemporary musicians would imagine this. F7 is a tritone substitution. Let's play it. For these two notes here are the 3rd and 7th from B7. B7 is the 5 of E, which is the 5 of A. B7 is the 5 of E. Let's make it E7. E7 is the 5 of A. One really useful way for us to think about the Tristan chord, and that's really what we call it, is as a modification of a simple tritone substitution. Now, what makes it really gorgeous is this open voicing and the way it continues to push up like that. I think that the melody and the motion of the melody play a really important role in teasing our ear into hearing that momentary suspension as kind of more epic than it is. In jazz, musicians constantly use tritone substitutions to approach dominant chords. Take, for instance, a really simple progression like D minor 7, G7, C. I'm going to use a tritone substitution to approach the G chord. Here we go. D minor 7, A flat 7, G7, C. And that A flat 7 is a tritone substitution for D7, and it gives us a really nice kind of settling down effect. It also reminds me, if you want to take a deeper dive without me, although maybe we should talk about it in a separate video sometime, it reminds me of what we call the phrygian 7 chords, where we grab the 13th of a dominant chord. Here's a G7 voicing. And we put it over the 13th of that chord. So the E is the 13th. I'm going to put it over E. It's a beautiful sound, right? To E flat 7, to A flat. Or it can even function as a dominant, an E dominant. That's kind of the way it's used most often, right? So this is an E Phrygian chord. And let's go right to A major. Pretty. Well, that has its roots in Wagner's Tristan chord. You've heard that chord in tons of films. You've heard that chord everywhere. It's a great approach to the 5 chord in a minor. Think of it as a tritone substitution. In classical music, there are a number of names for this tritone substitution, and they're all based around the idea of a weirdly spelled 7th chord. They call it a 6th chord, usually with some sort of national moniker attached to it. There's the Neapolitan 6th, the French 6th, the German 6th, but they're all versions of tritone substitutions. They're all a way of sinking back into a dominant chord, acting like a secondary dominant, sinking back into a dominant chord before you proceed to a 1 chord, very often a 1 minor chord. Wagner is epic. And of course, a good deal of what makes it beautiful is this great orchestration as well, right? The horns and stuff. Well, I hope this has been useful. Wagner's politics aside, that's a beautiful sound. And I hope you can find a way to bring it into your own work. Well, like and subscribe and ding the bell. And I'll see you next time.